Found on the High Seas, a serialized gay romance taking place aboard the Caribbean ocean liner, the Majestic Sun. Follow along as I take everyone on a Caribbean adventure with humor, love, and of course, destruction. Penned by Rylie Mason, narrated by me, Brian Shepard. Episode 2. Welcome aboard. The ride to the port was anything but quiet, as Anita made sure that Britain knew everything about her and the ships she had been on, as she and her late husband are cruise lifers. Anita has been on almost every cruise you can think of since both her and her husband had retired. I just never really cared for big ships. Yes, they may offer more in the entertainment department. However, I was always fond of the smaller yet still luxurious ships. People on the ship would get to know each other and have a great time. These big ships, forget it. I'd get lost, Anita said. So you prefer ocean liners? He asked. They are all ships, my dear. Just some are bigger. Big difference, Anita. Big ships are considered cruise ships. The smaller ones you refer to are classified as ocean liners, like Titanic all the way down to the Queen Mary, and even the ships Majestic has. Sad, they really don't construct them anymore, Britain said, as Cape Canaveral came into view. Well, you learn something new every day, Anita responded. Britain knew that his ship was called the Majestic Sun, who was commanded by Captain Brian Jericho. Captain Jericho had previously worked for another company, which was acquired by Majestic last year. Britain could just make out the ship's unique orange-painted funnel, which rose just past the terminal roof as the bus drove towards the main entrance. Here, passengers would check in before boarding the ship. Instructions that he received said he would have to check in with security before boarding. As Britain walked through the terminal, and after saying goodbye to Anita, he was on his way over to security when he just happened to stop to take in the sheer size of his ship just outside the huge glass windows. Beautiful and intimidating at the same time, as he has not been on a ship before. He's never even seen one this close in person. As he took in the grandeur of the ship, he remembered all the information that he had read, and the age kind of stuck out to him the most. The Sun was 62 years old. Ships don't last that long, and if they do, they are normally turned into floating hotels and museums moored in some harbor, trying not to rust away. Launched in 1960 and completed a year later, coming in at 650 feet and named for the third time, was the RMS Empress of Canada, which regularly traversed the transatlantic route between Liverpool and Canada for roughly 10 years. As like other ships over time, they changed hands and destinations. As the decline in passengers made most ships during that time obsolete, the Empress was still going, outlasting others, such as the SS United States and the RMS Queen Mary. In 1972, the ship was bought and joined with her sister ship, the Empress of Britain, by then startup, yet financially struggling cruise company, Carnival. The ship sailed for years until its end in 2003 and was to be sent to Alang, India, where it would be broken up, never to sail again. Until Captain Jericho's now ex-husband saved the ship and a few others and bought them before that could happen, adding it to their fleet. Brian believes it was the best decision his husband made. Now that Britain made it through security and was escorted onto the ship, it was hard to keep his eyes off the Art Deco style that had made a return, it seemed, as the ship had been refurbished and redecorated, bringing it back to the 60s and 70s, however, keeping up with the modern times. It was nice to walk onto a ship that was practically new inside, from the art on the walls, the furniture, down to the new carpet. A cost in 2003 in which her last owners deemed too expensive. Now owned and operated by Majestic Cruises after it was acquired from South Africa Cruises, along with 2 other ships, not yet ready and currently in dry dock for repairs and major retrofitting. It was time to see if the Sun could handle the constant sailing, pretty much non-stop, as it would be the first time it had sailed in Caribbean waters. Britain, finally making his way to the ship's lobby after taking his time gawking at the new interior, was supposed to be meeting his boss, Barbara, who seems to have stepped up the ladder after receiving a promotion to cruise director. "Anita, I heard you the first time, and we are double-checking to make sure that your suite is ready," the gentleman said, standing behind the counter. Britain could see Anita standing at the desk with a man in a ship uniform next to her. "All I said was I hope it's port side this time, that's all," Anita responded, as she waited to be checked in with Barbara. "Are you saying that there was something wrong with your last cabin? What does it matter now? It's on the bottom of the ocean," Barbara said, as Britain could tell by overhearing it must have been a touchy subject for her. "Not at all. I had one of the best rooms," smiling as she knew she would not win this. "Yes, because you made a stink then, too. I'm on to you, lady," Barbara said with a smile. "Are you going to the dinner tonight?" she asked her. "I hope so. This is the first time I'm sailing with Captain Jericho, so I'm not even sure if he knows me," she answered. "Oh, I'm sure he knows you. If not, I'll make sure to let him know. You're all set, by the way. I have you right where you're supposed to be. So what was all the fuss about?" Barbara asked, a little irritated. "Ah, Britain, there you are, dear. Rylie, this is Britain's first day on the job, and he has never been on a ship before. Poor thing is single, and I know you'll be a good man and take care of him," smiling as she started to walk away, not needing assistance any longer. "Gotta run, boys. I'll see you all later," waving as she made her way towards the elevators. "Does she always blurt out other people's business, or am I just the lucky one?" Britain jokingly said as he walked towards Rylie, extending his hand. Rylie quickly shook. "Yes, only to people she cares about. You must be the new guest relations manager. I'm Rylie Tudor," shaking back while closing his eyes, as he knows, like any other time, this is where the other person tries to be funny about his last name. "Wait, did you say your last name is Tudor?" Britain asked. "That is awesome. Here I thought I had it bad with my name, yet I do find it a little comical that I'm Britain who just met a Tudor. Go figure," Britain said, as he just realized they have not let go. "Then I have a feeling that I'll be in good company. Barbara, this is the new manager," Rylie said, letting go as Barbara walked over. Even though Rylie was the hospitality manager, Barbara was still the boss. Of both. Keep the Motrin handy. I always end up with a migraine after dealing with her. I'm hoping everything goes well and we have a smooth sailing. All right, Mr. St. John. You will be training with Betty here, as she knows much as I do. You will start in the morning. This way you can get yourself familiar with the ship and find your cabin. There, you'll find your uniform. Your office is on E-deck. Sounds good. I guess I'll find my way to my cabin and freshen up, as I believe I was invited to the dinner as well, Rylie said, remembering it was on his work calendar. He read it on his phone. I, too, am going, so it seems I'll be seeing you later, Rylie said, smiling as he walked away. Of course, giving him a quick look back. Seriously? It was his first day, and already somebody seemed interested. Too interested, if there was such a thing. Is there such a thing? Britton thought, as he found his cabin and let himself in with the key card given to him by security. He was lucky. He had a cabin to himself. It seems being a manager has its perks. Not a large room by any means, yet just enough for him. He would have to get used to it, as it would be his home for the next 5 months. Why complain at all? He works on a cruise ship that will be making port calls to places he has never been. So if this room happens to be the size of a shoebox, so be it, he thought, as he placed his bag on the floor while laying on the bed, testing it out while trying not to fall asleep from the travel, as tonight he'll be joining the captain and guests for dinner. A shower and a change into his uniform, Britton was ready for his first task as member of the management, which of course was the captain's dinner. The captain's dinner is a tradition among the Majestic Fleet, where special guests of the captain and his senior staff converse, get to know each other, and have a great time. Turning off the light, Britton proceeded to open the door to leave, when all he saw was a fist in his face. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was about to knock," said the voice at the other end of the hand. Rylie. "Hi, I'm on my way to the dining room." "I know. I'm heading that way myself, and I was going to see if we could walk together." "Ah, sure. I believe we have about an hour before we're due, so I was going to check out the ship along the way." "Would you like a tour?" Rylie asked, hoping for a yes. "I would love that. Thank you," Britton responded, blushing just a bit. Rylie, smiling, took that as a yes, which Britton then motioned for Rylie to lead the way. From the bridge to the engine room, Britton was shown almost everything within the time they had before they were to head to the dining room. Rylie answered pretty much every question Britton threw at him. Seems they had a lot in common, especially hiking and the love for the outdoors. Reaching the dining room, and without even noticing anyone around them, they sat next to each other and continued to chat until others started to arrive. Being a new face, of course, he did not know everyone, so as guests and co-workers arrived, it was Rylie who would whisper into his ear and tell him who was who. First up, Captain Eric Moore and his boyfriend Justin. Eric is the captain of the Majestic Coral, trying once again to have a fun and safe vacation with Justin after the last vacation resulted in being rescued from a sinking ship. One by one, they entered the dining room, all heading for the same table. Barbara, Chief Engineer Burton Wilton, Burton's wife Heather, who was in charge of housekeeping, and of course, Anita. Last to enter was Captain Jericho. "Welcome, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's dinner," Brian started. "Where is Ben, Brian?" Anita asked. "Ben will be joining us later in the voyage, as we will be docking next to the new Majestic Seas when we reach Montego Bay. He has been training a new crewman on the ship." "Good. It will be nice to see him again," Anita said as she smiled. Taking the moment while it was quiet, was Eric, standing and tapping on his glass, which got everyone's attention, even those dining close by. I would like to announce that Justin and I will be getting married when we dock in Port-au-Prince. We would like to invite everyone here at the table, along with our friends, to join us as we take the next step in our lives together, Eric said as he smiled, looking down at Justin. Well, I, for one, am not surprised at all, I have to say, but congratulations, and it's about time, Anita blurted out. Congratulations, cheers, smiles, and the overwhelming feeling of love and support was in abundance, and Britton knew at that very moment that he was surrounded by good people who each were treated like family, a family he could use in his life right now.